All right, week 4. Let's get started. I'm a little bit late this week. I've been a little under the weather just with my allergies, but I finally figured out what's causing it, so I should be a little better. So let me talk to you. Let me tell you what you're going to be doing this week. So let's go. Week 4. Of course, this is week 4 of Things Fall Apart. So let's go to this part. Of course, this video will be above the lesson. So make sure that you watch this before doing this. So happy week 4. We finally made it to week 4. You're going to be reading part 2 of the novel this week. We finished part 1 last week, which was much longer than the next 2 parts. Part 1 was 13 chapters, I believe. This week is going to be a fairly easy week as well, kind of like last week. You're going to be finishing part 2, which is chapters 14 through 19, and then you're going to be responding to some questions. Please make sure that you are completing the assignments, because anything that you don't complete does count against you. You do have the option to go back and complete assignments that you didn't complete earlier, so please make sure that you do that. So step 1, of course, watch the video, then download the assignments page, read chapters 14 through 19, complete the questions, and then submit the correct copy of the work. Again, remember, you need to submit a copy that has writing on it so that I know that you did it, not an empty document or the document that you simply downloaded from me here on Blackboard. So let's go ahead and look at this. So right here, week 4, English 3, that is your assignments document. That will look like this, very similar to the last 3 weeks. You're going to read chapters 14 through 19. That begins on page 4 of this document, and then review the stages of grief. I'll get to that in a second, and then answer the questions below. So let's scroll down just a little bit. I'll come back to the stages of grief momentarily. So in part 1, we learned that Okonkwo considers himself to be very manly and powerful. He has been a very successful man thus far. Unfortunately, at the end of part 1, the accidental killing of a young man in the village causes him to be exiled and to lose his status. Think about this while reading part 2 and answer the questions carefully below, okay? So the very first question from chapter 14, which is what you're reading this week, asks which stages, that's important, right? Multiple, of grief does Okonkwo go through in chapter 14 when he first arrives to his mother's people. So you'll need to come back and look at the stages of grief. Most of you know what the stages of grief are, or at least some of them, but please make sure that you read them carefully so you know exactly what you're looking for when you're looking in the novel to figure out which stages of grief Okonkwo goes through. We have denial, anger, bargaining, depression, and acceptance, okay? So you'll answer all of these questions. There's 1 to 2 questions. I know 16 is the only one that has 3 questions, but 1 to 2 questions for each of the chapters that you're reading this week. And then, of course, like always, the chapters begin a little bit below, so you'll have to do chapters 14 through 19. Once you're done with that, you will submit that entire document here, week 4 submission. Please remember, when you download it, you need to save it in your Google Docs, or you won't be able to upload the document that you're writing on. Anything you write on this document, if you just click and open it, is not going to save. So please make sure that you download it correctly. This is all for this week. I really wanted us to get through part 2 so we could talk about part 3 next week. So please make sure that you get that reading done. And if you haven't finished part 1, please make sure you go back and do that. This week, it's, like I said, going to be pretty easy, pretty straightforward like last week, so please make sure that you're just working hard, reaching out to me with any questions that you might have. Yes, you can go back and complete work that you haven't finished. I highly, highly recommend going back and doing that as soon as possible, of course, because we don't know when we're going to return to work or to school. If you need anything from me, please send me a shoot me a text message, shoot me an email, and I will get back to you as soon as possible. I try to email you or respond to you in any format as soon as I get it, okay? If you need any video conferences for anything, just let me know. I am available Wednesdays and Fridays for video chatting, okay? So I will see all of you guys hopefully soon, but if not, I will definitely see you guys through my videos, okay? I'll see you later.